Good evening everyone. My name is RahulVerma. So today I represent presentation on KML and KMZ visualization in Liquid Galaxy. So today in this presentation we discuss what is KML, what is KMZ, why KML is important for Liquid Galaxy, how Liquid Galaxy render KML, what is the best practice to use KML, and what is the basic structure of KML, what is the syntax of KML, and what are the commonly used tags in KML. So all of these topics we discuss in today's presentation. So let's start with the quick intro of Liquid Galaxy. So let's jump to the first slide. Liquid Galaxy is an advanced immersive visualization platform that uses multiple synchronized screens arranged in a panoramic setup. These screens work together to display satellite 3D content. Means Liquid Galaxy uses multiple screen setup through which we can it display satellite 3D content. As you see in this image, we have seven screens, and all these screens are connected with each other. With the help of these screens, we can explore cities on Google Earth, and we can also display any 3D model on Google Earth. So basically, it operates as a distributed system, means Liquid Galaxy worked on a master and slave architecture, and you can consider master computer as the main computer through which all the command uh, sent to the respective slave machines. Slave machines are the screens which is connected, and all these machines are connected through a network, and they all are in the sync. Means if master machine or main computer send command to particular screen, then all rotate the portion of a earth which display on that particular screens, and then display that result. For example, if I want to see Delhi on Google Earth, then firstly we send command using client on main computer, then main computer send command to all the sleep machine that the is to display Delhi. Then the portion which display on a particular screen start rotating. With this we get a view of Delhi on Google Earth using all the screens. This proves that these all screens are connected through a network, and they all are in the synced. So after this quick intro, let's jump to the next slide, which is what is KML. Basically, KML is a backbone for Liquid Galaxy. Let's understand it why. But before that, we have to know what KML exactly is, because when I firstly learn about Liquid Galaxy, even I don't know what is KML. So let's start with quick intro. KML stand for Keyhole Markup Language. It is an XML based file format for expressing geographic data in an Earth browser like Google Earth or Google Map. It is a like a HTML for maps. With the help of KML, you can define lines, polygons, images, etc. And with the help of KML, you can specify the location, routes, areas, and overlays. With the help of KML, you can even send commands to the Liquid Galaxy. Then that command executed on a Google Earth. And now, who use this KML? Basically, KML used for planning trips, sharing locations. It is used on a software like ARGIS, which is help in creating data creations, and also with the help of KML, we can display 3D models on Google Earth. So after this quick overview of KML, let's jump to the next slide. So why KML is important in Liquid Galaxy? Because it acts as a primary communication and control language. It enables real-time synchronized visualization across multiple screens. It defines 3D models, overlays, camera viewpoint in Google Earth. Means, as I told you, that Liquid Galaxy consists of a multiple screens With the help of KML, we can enable real-time communication. We can enable synchronized visualization across all the screens. Like I take an example of like I take an example of Delhi. If I want to display Delhi on Google Earth, simply all these machines are connected. Then show Delhi on Google Maps. So why KML is important? Because it acts as a primary communication and control language. With the help of this, we can communicate with the Google Earth using Liquid Galaxy. With the help of KML, we can show a marker on Google Earth. We can draw a path using polygons. Even we can create a tour. So with the help of uh, we can also set camera. We can also set up the camera positions. We declare and KML. So these are some basic use case which we can do with the help of KML using Liquid Galaxy. So let's know what is the basic structure of the KML file. KML, as I told you, that is an XML file format based language. It consists of a tags. The entire file start with the KML. Inside it, we define geographic elements. A file is an XML based text file. Okay, and as you see, this is a basic structure example, and all are in the hierarchy. And KML also start with XML version as like XML language, which also start from XML version. Then we define KML tags. These tags are like tags in the HTML. It has closing tag as well as it has opening tag. And in this XML, we define document and then we define place mark. Basically, with the help of this example, we display a place mark on a Google Earth by specify the coordinates of the Google Earth. Uh, we discuss about place mark further in this presentation. So I hope you get an idea of basic structure. You can say this is a syntax of a KML, and when you send particular command using KML, we actually send this KML code directly to the Google Earth using Liquid Galaxy. Then Liquid Galaxy continuously monitor it. Then master or main computer open this KML file, then execute on a respective sleep machine. So I hope you got the overview of the KML syntax or KML structure. So it's time to know what are the commonly used tags in KML. This first one is a place marks. Place marks in KML are fundamental feature used to mark specific position on Google Earth's surface in application like Google Earth. So as you see, there is a pine tree, and this is a place mark which we display on the Google Earth by specifying the coordinates. Clearly if you see in place mark tag, I define the coordinates where I want to display that pine tree place mark. So with the help of place mark, you only display a marker on the Google Earth by specifying the coordinates. The coordinates include longitude, latitude, and altitude on which we have to display that place mark. So let's jump to next slide. Next tags is a polygon and path. This is a commonly used tags in tourism demo or smart city project. Basically, with the help of polygon, you draw a polygon like this in image. Polygons means many that which have many sides. As you see, this is a clear example of polygon. And with the help of polygon, we draw roads, we show routes, highlight region. Even in Google Earth, polygon has been used to draw the routes, or it also help to highlight that region. Next is a ground overlay. Ground overlay is another commonly used tag. With the help of this tag, we display an image on Google Earth, and we can also display satellite overlays. So let's jump to the next slide. Next tag is camera and fly to. A camera defines the specific observer position, orientation, altitude, while fly to smoothly transition between these viewpoints over a set of duration. Let's understand these tags with an example. So basically camera tag help to specify the zoom, how much zoom we required to view that location. Even we set zoom, tilt, rotation, and orientation and the camera positions. And with the help of light to it actually display that location. If I take an example of Delhi, then we need to send the coordinates of Delhi. Then in XML file, then we have to add camera positions in KML file. Then we execute fly to command on Google Earth using KML. Then fly to command rotate the Google Earth and display that coordinates, like in our case Delhi, it displayed at Delhi on Google Earth. So again, these tags are commonly used in XML to display a particular place on Google Earth. So next is what is KMZ. A KMZ stands for KML Markup Language Zipped, and it is a compressed RG format used to store geographic data, maps, 3D model for applications like Google Earth. Basically, you can say that it is simply a zipped version of a KML file, and it bundles the main KML document with supporting images, and it is ideal for sharing and faster loading. And it include compressed KML containing images and assets, faster loading resources, etc. If I take an example of KMZ, like in task 2 we have to display a 3D model on Google Earth, but before that we have to test that to display the KML 3D model KML on Google Earth. We need a KMZ file. In that KML file we have a model.da file which specify how our model looks like, and in that we have another file which is KML file which is linked to our model.dei file, and also it specifies the coordinates where we have to display that 3D model, and also it also declare camera positions on KML files. So when you insert KMZ zipped file directly into Google, it then also display model or any view which you define in KML on Google Earth. Basically, Liquid Galaxy prefer KMZ for larger projects. So let's come to the very important topic: how Liquid Galaxy render KML. Liquid Galaxy render KML by using a master node. Master node means the main computer to parse, manage, distribute network-linked KML files to multiple slaves computer, which then render synchronized independent portion of the scene by Google Earth. Let's understand this with an example. Like in task 2, we have to send a command to display a logo on leftmost screen. So how this works in real time? Firstly, we created an KML in which we attach an image URL in that KML file. Then we execute a command from the client side. Then client side send a KML file to the master machine. Then master machine open that file, read that KML file, then send instruction to the respective slave machine where we want to display that logo. So in this way it internally works. Means we generally send command from the client side, then master node or master main computer receive that KML file, then open it and then read it, then send it instructions to respective slave machines. So in this way the whole rendering of KML executed. because they are connected with each other and because they are synchronized. So in this way we get result. In this case we able to display logo on LG1 machine. So in this way Liquid Galaxy render KML. So let's jump to the next slide. So let's understand what are the practical examples where the KML is used. Basically, it is used in universities exhibitions because KML used for a visualization because it is used to represent geographic data on Google Earth. It is used in tourism demo, campus tour, disaster visualization. With the help of we can create 3D models of building and also it displays the live weather updates. So, what are the common problems we face while we dealing with the KML? First one is nothing appears. I remember that when I first time sent a KML file to Liquid Galaxy, I nothing see on Google Earth because there is a syntax error in my KML file. And second one, we specify the wrong locations, we specify the wrong coordinates, we have an invalid syntax. In my case, that is invalid syntax. And the second one is KML is not refreshed. Like, what does it mean? It means when we send KML file to Google Earth, Liquid Galaxy continuously monitor it, and Google Earth has to refresh it so that it know that it receive an KML file. Then main computer read that file and send instruction to the respective slave machines. So even I also face this problem when I send KML file to the Google Earth. Google Earth could not refresh it itself. So we have to send command to refresh the Google Earth so that it can know that it receive a KML file. Next is what is the best practices to use KML. What are the troubleshooting tips? Troubleshooting tips include validate your KML file. Then, firstly, before uploading it somewhere, first test on Google Earth. Then clear caches. And what are some best practices? It use KML for means KML use for images, keeps file lightweight, organize folder, or use absolute URL for images. Make sure before adding image URL in KML file, test it on server, test it on browser. Actually, sorry for my mistake. Then let's talk about what is conclusion. If the network is a communication layer of Liquid Galaxy, then KML is a language that Liquid Galaxy understand. As I told you that KML is a primary source of communication through which our client and our host system communicates and through which commands travel from client to host system. So KML is the heart of LG visualization. Without KML, we can't communicate with LG or even with Google Earth. And always try to use KMZ because that is lightweight in nature and it executes faster. And always maintain the proper structure of your KML code and make sure you use correct syntax and because as I told you that KML use to display the geographic information on the Google Earth. So I hope you get the point what I try to understand that why KML is important for Liquid Galaxy. What are the things you need to consider while writing KML and how to execute on Liquid Galaxy side so that you get your desired result. So I hope you understand the today session. So thank you everyone. Thank you for your time. So if you have any question you can ask me in the comments in the community chat and I'm waiting for your questions. Thank you. Thank you.